Some places do not exist on any map. They are not marked by longitude or latitude. You cannot punch their coordinates into a machine and expect to arrive. These are the places of the heart, the landscapes of the soul. They appear only when they are most needed, shimmering into existence like a mirage on a long, dusty road. The Luminous Vale is one such place. It is a secret whispered on the wind, a legend told to children with wide, wondering eyes. They say it is a valley of impossible light, a sanctuary woven from starlight and sorrow. But it is not a place you can seek. It is a place that must find you, and it only finds those whose hearts have become heavy, dimmed by a grief so profound that the world has lost its color. It is a haven for the lost, a balm for the broken. The world is full of stories that we choose not to believe. We call them myths. We call them fairy tales. We tuck them away with our childhood toys and tell ourselves that we are too old, too wise, for such foolishness. The Luminous Vale was one of these stories, a beautiful lie told to make the darkness feel less permanent. It was a place for dreamers, for those who looked to the stars and saw more than just burning gas. It was not a place for practical people, for those who trusted only what their hands could touch and their eyes could see. And yet, the Vale did not care about belief. It cared only for the quiet, aching language of the heart, a language spoken fluently by those who have known great loss. We are told that to heal, we must move forward. We must put one foot in front of the other, even when the ground feels unsteady beneath us. But where do we walk to? Where is the destination for a heart that feels it has no home left in the world? The stories of the Vale suggest that sometimes the way forward is not a straight line. Sometimes it is a detour into the impossible, a journey into a landscape painted with colors we have never seen before. It is a place that does not erase the sadness but transforms it, turning the leaden weight of grief into something that can be carried, something that might even eventually shine. It is a geography of hope, waiting patiently for its next traveler. And so, the legend persists, carried in the hushed tones of grandmothers and the melancholic songs of lonely travelers. It speaks of a valley where the plants hum with a soft inner light, and the air itself sings a gentle melody. It promises a place where memories are not ghosts that haunt, but gentle companions that walk beside you. It is a story about finding light in the most profound darkness, a testament to the idea that even when we feel completely and utterly alone, there are unseen forces at work, guiding us toward a dawn we thought would never come. The Luminous Vale is a reminder that the world is wider, more mysterious, and more magical than our maps could ever show. Alara Finn did not believe in magic. She believed in the solid weight of a book in her hands. She believed in the scent of rain on hot pavement and the dependable cycle of the seasons. Her father had been a man of similar beliefs, a cartographer who spent his life charting the known world, drawing careful lines around continents and oceans. He dealt in facts, in the tangible and the proven. But he also had a secret, a small corner of his heart pulsed for wonder. He would tell Alara stories of the Luminous Vale, his voice soft and low, a gentle bedtime murmur. Alara loved the stories, but she filed them away as just that, stories. Beautiful but untrue. Then, her father was gone, and the world, once so solid and dependable, fractured into a million pieces. The grief was a heavy coat that Alara could not take off. It weighed down her shoulders and silenced her laughter. The colors of her world seemed to fade, as if a layer of gray dust had settled over everything she saw. The books on her shelves felt like lead. The scent of rain brought no comfort. Her father's maps, once a source of shared joy, were now a painful reminder of all she had lost. He had charted the entire world, yet he had vanished from it, leaving her with an atlas of sorrow. She felt a desperate, aching need to escape, to run so far that the memories could not catch up. She needed to find a place where her own heart was not the loudest sound in the room. She did not know where she was going. She simply packed a small bag, leaving behind the neat, orderly life she had always known. She traveled north, toward the jagged peaks of mountains that clawed at the sky. She was drawn to their silence, to their ancient and unyielding presence. She hoped that in their shadow, her own small sorrow might feel insignificant. She found herself in a remote mountain village, a place that seemed to exist outside of time. The houses were made of stone and dark wood, and smoke curled from the chimneys in lazy gray ribbons. The air was crisp and cold, and it bit at her cheeks, a small sharp pain that was a welcome distraction from the larger, duller ache within. In this quiet village, Ilara felt the weight of her sadness settle even more deeply. There was nowhere left to run. The mountains stood as silent witnesses to her grief, their peaks shrouded in mist. The villagers were kind but kept their distance, their eyes holding a knowing pity that made her feel even more alone. She spent her days walking, her feet tracing paths through the sparse, wind-blown landscape. She was not looking for anything in particular. She was simply moving, trying to outpace the hollowness that had taken root in her chest. She did not know that she was being watched, not by the villagers but by something much older, something that had been waiting for a heart just like hers. It happened on a day when the mist was so thick it seemed to swallow the world. Ilara was walking at the base of the tallest mountain, her head bowed against the wind. Her sorrow was a constant companion, a quiet humming thing in the back of her mind. She was not paying attention to where she was going, her gaze fixed on the rocky ground beneath her feet. Then, she saw it. A path. It was not a path that had been there the day before. She was sure of it. It was a narrow, winding trail that veered away from the main track, disappearing into a dense grove of ancient gnarled trees. It seemed to shimmer at the edges, as if it were not entirely real. It was a thread of an invitation, a question asked in the language of moss and stone. Against her better judgment, against every practical instinct she possessed, Ilara followed. Her heart, which had been so dormant, gave a small, curious flutter. The path was strange. It seemed to shift and change as she walked. When she glanced back, the entrance had vanished, the grove of trees now an impenetrable wall of wood and shadow. There was only the way forward. A soft, whispering sound filled the air, like 1,000 leaves rustling in a breeze that she could not feel. The path was not made of dirt or gravel, but of something that felt soft and yielding under her boots, like packed starlight. A faint silvery light began to filter through the canopy above, painting the world in shades of pearl and indigo. The deeper she went, the more the forest came alive. The whispers grew louder, coalescing into a gentle, humming melody that seemed to resonate deep within her chest. It was a song of welcome, a tune that spoke of patience and understanding. The air grew warmer, carrying the scent of night-blooming flowers and damp earth. This was impossible. Her logical mind, the part of her that was her father's daughter, screamed that this was a dream, a hallucination brought on by grief and exhaustion. But her heart, the part of her that was broken, felt a sense of peace it had not known in months. It felt like coming home to a place she had never been. She walked for what felt like hours, yet she did not grow tired. The path guided her, its faint light a steady beacon in the deepening twilight of the magical wood. The trees themselves seemed to watch her, their ancient branches reaching down as if to brush her shoulders in a gesture of comfort. The forest was not scary or menacing. It was alive with a gentle, breathing magic that seemed to acknowledge her sadness, to make space for it. It did not try to erase her pain, but simply held it, cradling it in a symphony of light and sound. Ilara Finn, the girl who did not believe in magic, had stepped out of her world and into a story. The path ended abruptly, at a high overlook, and the sight that greeted Ilara stole the breath from her lungs. Below her, nestled between the protective arms of the mountains, was a valley. But it was a valley unlike any she had ever seen or imagined. It was the Luminous Vale. A soft, internal light emanated from everything. The grass was a carpet of emerald, each blade tipped with a tiny, glowing pearl of dew. The flowers were not merely colored, but were crafted from pure light, their petals pulsing with soft hues of sapphire, ruby, and gold. A river of liquid silver snaked through the valley floor, its surface shimmering with 1,000 captured stars. The air hummed with that same gentle music, a melody that seemed to be the valley's own heartbeat. Elara slowly made her way down into the valley, her boots sinking into the soft, glowing moss. The light was not blinding. It was gentle and warm, like the first light of dawn. It seemed to seep into her skin, chasing away the chill that had settled deep in her bones. She reached out a trembling hand to touch a flower, and as her fingers brushed against its petals, a soft chime echoed through the air. The flower pulsed with a brighter light, responding to her touch. Everything here was alive, everything was connected, and everything was beautiful. It was a beauty so profound, so impossible, that it made her heart ache with a new kind of emotion, not just sorrow but a painful, breathtaking wonder. She walked toward the river, its surface a perfect, unbroken mirror. The music of the vale seemed to be strongest here, a chorus of soft, ethereal voices that sang without words. She knelt at the water's edge, a sense of peace washing over her, deeper and more complete than anything she had ever known. The sadness was still there, a quiet note in the symphony of her soul, but it was no longer a crushing weight. Here, in this place of impossible light, it was just a part of the song. The veil did not demand happiness, it simply offered beauty as a companion to her grief, a reminder that light could exist even in the deepest of shadows. It was then that she noticed she was not alone. Standing by the river, her form woven from moonlight and mist, was a figure. It was a woman, tall and graceful, with eyes that held the wisdom of ages. She wore a cloak of 1,000 shifting colors, like the inside of a seashell. She was not human, but something older, something born of the valley itself. "Welcome, child," the figure said, her voice the sound of wind chimes and flowing water. "I am Erethel, the guardian of echoes. We have been waiting for you." Elara, who had forgotten how to speak, could only stare, her heart filled with a mixture of fear and a strange, comforting familiarity. The guardian of the veil had come to meet her. "The veil reveals itself only to those who need it," Erethel explained, her voice a gentle melody. "It is a sanctuary for hearts dimmed by sorrow, a place where echoes of what was lost can be heard again. It does not offer escape, Elara Finn. It offers understanding." The guardian gestured toward the shimmering river. "This is the lake of reflections. It does not show you what is, but what was, and what is remembered. Look, and you will see." Hesitantly, Elara peered into the liquid silver. The surface swirled, and an image began to form. It was her father, years younger, his face alight with a familiar, joyful grin. He was standing in this very valley, his hand outstretched, touching a glowing flower just as she had. A gasp escaped Elara's lips. It was him, not a photograph, not a fading memory, but a living, breathing echo of him. He was laughing, his head thrown back, and she could almost hear the sound of it, a sound she had missed more than air. "He was here," she whispered, her voice thick with tears. "He was here." Erethel nodded, her expression full of a deep and ancient compassion. "Many find their way to the veil, those who carry great love and great loss. Your father found this place after the passing of his own mother. It gave him the strength to return to his world and fill it with the beauty he found here. He carried its light with him in the stories he told his daughter." The realization dawned on Elara like a slow, gentle sunrise. The stories were not just stories, they were a map. Her father had not been telling her a fairy tale, he had been leaving her a key, a guide to a place he knew she might one day need. He had been charting not the physical world, but the geography of the heart. The visions in the lake continued to shift. She saw herself as a little girl, sitting on her father's lap, listening intently as he spoke of a valley of light. She saw his hands, steady and sure, drawing the lines on a map, but his eyes held a distant, secret sparkle, the light of the veil, which he had never truly left behind. "The veil offers a choice," Erithel said softly, her voice drawing Alara from her reverie. You may stay here, child. You can live forever in this peace, surrounded by the echoes of your love. The light will hold you, and your sorrow will be a gentle companion, never a burden. The offer was a siren's song, to stay here, in this perfect, painless beauty, to never feel the sharp edges of the world again. It was everything she thought she had wanted. But as she looked at the echo of her father, laughing and so full of life, she understood. He had not stayed. He had chosen to return, to carry the light back with him. He had chosen to live. Alara looked from the shimmering vision of her father to the ancient, kind eyes of the guardian. The choice was clear. To stay in the Vale would be to remain a memory herself, an echo in a beautiful static world. Her father had not done that. He had taken the beauty of this place and used it to enrich his own world, to create maps, to tell stories, to love his daughter. He had transformed his grief into a legacy of wonder. I cannot stay, Alara said, her voice surprisingly steady. He wouldn't have wanted me to. He would want me to live. He would want me to bring this light back with me. A gentle smile touched Erithel's lips. That is the true purpose of the Vale, she said. Not to be a cage, but a catalyst. The guardian raised her hand, and a small, smooth, white stone materialized in her palm, glowing with a soft, internal light. Take this, Erithel said, placing it in Alara's hand. This is a stone of Lumina. It holds a spark of the Vale's light. As long as you carry it, you will never be truly lost in the dark. The path home will be clear. The stone was warm to the touch, and as Alara closed her fingers around it, she felt a wave of warmth spread through her, a quiet strength settling in her soul. She knew it was time to go. She took one last look at the impossible beauty of the valley, etching it forever into her heart. Thank you, she whispered. The journey back through the forest was different. The path was clear and steady, and the music of the trees sounded less like a lament and more like a gentle farewell. The world she was returning to was still a world without her father in it. The pain of his absence had not vanished, but it had changed. It was no longer a crushing weight, but a part of her, a thread of silver woven into the tapestry of who she was. The veil had not taken her grief away. It had given her the beauty and the strength to carry it. It had shown her that her sorrow was a measure of her love, and that love was a light that could never be extinguished. When she emerged from the grove of trees, the sun was rising, casting the mountain peaks in gold and rose. The mist had cleared. The world felt new, washed clean. The heavy coat of grief had been lifted, replaced by a light, warm cloak of memory and purpose. She held the stone of Lumina in her pocket, its gentle warmth a constant reminder. Alara Finn, the girl who once believed only in facts, now carried a piece of magic with her. She felt lighter, not because her sadness was gone, but because it was now balanced by an immense and luminous hope. She was connected to her father, not just by loss, but by a shared, secret magic. She knew what she had to do. She would go home and, like him, find a way to restore beauty to the world.